Yeah, I get that. I posted my video to a UFO group, um, and there's the trolls showing up, trolling me. Um, look, 10 years I've been telling the same story. I mean, I've got videos, the same thing, 2012, and so here it is. Then I put everything together in one video. Um, it's late at night here, sorry. But then I got trolled. Then I've been accused of that. Um, I've been called all sorts of names. Big imagination. People come out saying, hinting that they know more than they're telling. Come on. They hide behind profiles that don't give up any information about who they are. Very little information about who they are. Which is rather suspicious to me. These Facebook and YouTube profiles that have almost nothing in the way of information about who they are. Nothing. They're new channels. They just created yesterday, and they happen to have a lot of opinions about something I'm saying. That's a suspicious NSA, CIA earmark right there. You can't be an intelligence operative and get on social media sites. It's a bit of an oxymoron because they can't identify who they are and come right out and be the protagonist or the one trolling you with a name and a face attached to this, because then you can research who they are, you can look at their background. um, but you get these people that troll me on social media sites. Their Facebook and YouTube pages really don't have a lot in there, and often don't have any profile pictures at all. um, and so what ends up happening is, these people are with a lot of negative comments, and they'll hint that they know more than they're telling. Enticingly, isn't it? Come out and say what's on your mind. Don't hint at it and say big imagination. Oh, by the way, that's not how it really is. There's a cooperation going on, and you're speaking from behind a hidden profile. Interesting. A profile with very little information in this. Interesting. Um, it's all part of the psychological countermeasure of when the guy puts it out there in the public and he is telling the truth. They want the public are basically not going to go any deeper than the first layer of beyond the comments seen. They won't look at the profile. Look at the profile. Go have a look at who's saying this. If it comes up, um, somebody with a big old background, um, then let's talk about what you know, or why you think so. But don't come out and start trolling me from profiles that have very very little in the way of anything. You might have a photo, you might have a few, a lot of clandestine stuff, a very limited Facebook page, very very extremely limited YouTube. Um, and if it's irritating the intelligence community what I'm saying about the alien human hybrid girl that I witnessed being assaulted by people dressed in military uniforms, then again, that's anybody with any brain in their head is gonna, well, yeah, that then maybe there's some truth to that. I mean, who are these people? If it's nothing, and they are covering nothing up, and this is not true, you would not see any trolling. You would see nothing on my posts on social media sites. And I've had 10 years, told the same story, wrote some books about it. One book had, it was a more in depth, the Mandela effect, that I wrote and published a few years ago. had a pretty in-depth take back in the 1992 of the event of seeing this alien human hybrid girl assaulted by people dressed. I say people dressed in military uniform. I don't say that these were American soldiers. How do I know that? That wouldn't be responsible to say this. They were in military uniforms, and I've always maintained that. I, I've heard people say that. I was abducted by Air Force intelligence of the 3rd Battalion, 2nd Brigade, and the 9th Infantry. They were from Wright-Patterson. How do you know that? I've heard these people say things like, well, how do you know that? What, you had time to scrutinize the patch? They pull out their ID and show you? I mean, I don't buy that. Yeah, I saw these people in uniform, bearing in mind their boots weren't that polished. Uniforms weren't that pressed. There were laces hanging out of the boots. I myself was a soldier in the United States Army, so they must have been Air Force, because they weren't wearing those uniforms at all worth a crap. They were very ate up in how they behaved. There was a colonel there was a major, there was a lieutenant, there was a sergeant that stood next to me, a woman. It was a sergeant, somebody of some rank. The way they laughed, giggled with each other, the way that they behaved, a lot of them, very unprofessional. Like the one guy that was very cocky, and he was like, "Oh, is this your effing girlfriend, you freak?" You know, very, very narcissistic, cocky, unprofessional, unbecoming of a soldier conduct. They must have been Air Force. Clearly Air Force. I was in the United States Army, and you don't have laces hanging out of boots. You press those uniforms, you polish those boots. Boots weren't polished. People standing, I saw people putting hands in pockets. You don't put your hands in your pockets. Their Class C uniform, which is a camouflage uniform. Like I said, some of the buttons were undone. People were running up to that colonel. They weren't saluting. Yeah, they were armed. Yeah, they hurt her. Yeah, they had me in custody. But it was like being abducted by the Mickey Mouse Club at gunpoint. It was ridiculous. Um, honestly, you know, and if it irritates people what I'm saying, then it's the truth. You, the public, you want evidence. There it is. It's coming. I'm getting trolled by anonymous, nearly anonymous profiles. Nearly. Almost nearly. I've got something to reveal that happened while I was in the United States Army. I'm specific on that point, United States Army, because I'm here in England. And I was told by my captain that I have a verbal and written non-disclosure. I'm not supposed to talk about it. It is connected to the alien contact stuff. Something they found while I was in the Army. Something happened. And Air Force intelligence was involved at the time. And on my police record, it does show when I had returned to the state of Texas after my training in the Army. I was back home at my mother's property. There is a record, a police record, of having been taken by Air Force intelligence on 2 occasions. So I've got a police record dating to 1992. They can't take that off. I've got the hard copy, and it's there. So, you know, you can say your so-called military abduction is all bunk, big imagination. Yeah, well, I've got on my record. It says classified, undisclosed, why they took me. I had the police in Texas try to investigate why they took me. And they were not going to get past the locks. The government, nope, that's a sealed record. Sealed. Plus, I got a few police officers from my hometown that witnessed 30 to 40 plus combatant looking soldiers in about 7 to 8 RVs parked in front of my mother's property at night in her courtyard. And one of them was a chief of police. Not going to drop names, but if I need them, there they are. Big imagination. Well, then you explain that. They didn't see any unusual short girls hanging around me. They weren't allowed down the road to get near me. but they were there, and that's 2 different police officers. And I have their statement. And again, the evidence goes, you can write that down. Well, let's go get this, try to wreck it up. Just, nope, already got the hard evidence that I could bring to the public to a conference and say, here it is. So did the incident happen? Yes, absolutely. Don't buck up against this one. You're going to get knocked in the head, guys. I've been up against a lot of people in 10 years. And it's a wall to knock it down and say it's all a load of crap, oh bollocks and all that. I've had it both sides of the Atlantic. You're going to find the evidence is there. But I'm going to say, I'm going to warn you. You listen to me. Some people have gone down that road and thought, we'll just go see what this is about. And they had connections and they found evidence and they found some truths, and it scared them so bad. They weren't ready for this. There's nothing scary about alien contact or that aliens are here. Nothing. But if you're a raised, devout Christian and you just believe the human race is the center of all God's creation, some of these people had some mass panic attacks and already had some drinking problems. And though they had professional lives, they were shattered to hear what they found out. So don't go down that road with me and expecting to find nothing if you're not ready for the truth. And stay out of my backyard, as I'm one of the real deals you're going to run across. And I'm only saying this forewarning. In 10 years, I've run across a few folks that, went, I don't care, go behind my back, do what you want, investigate. They got down that road with those contacts and their contacts, and they had contacts in the American government, and they came back and they were shitting themselves a big brick. Only because they just weren't ready for this one fact. There is intelligent life engaging this planet that's not human. The stories of the UFO shows you're hearing and all that are true. And they went down that road looking up my alley, and they went, oh God, the Jason Moss story, the JP Moss account opened up a lot of stuff. And it just kept opening up in their faces until they just disappeared. They they didn't get hurt. I don't know what happened to them. They were just, that's it, we're out of here. So, just a forewarning. You're not ready for this. That's because I have empathy for human beings. And I do empathize with people. I really do. I do care for all. I don't care. You can hate me. I don't care if you piss in my face. I care for people. Because you don't know what you're doing. A lot of you are blindfolded and know not what you do. Okay. And so when I know what I know what I witnessed, and I know what's going on, and when I see people, I don't care who you are. You can troll me all afternoon. You can say whatever you like. I don't really, honestly, say what you like. I'm only a witness. It's her story, not mine. It has been for 10 years. Not my story. It's her story. And the alien-human hybrids, the alien abduction program is very real. And they're not going to hurt you. There's no need to fear. But that's a little comfort for people who weren't ready. And they got mad at me and like, you should have warned us in advance that this was real. I said, well then, it's not my fault if you went about it from that approach. In your psychology and your mentality, you weren't ready. You weren't ready for this. Don't blame me. We'll do the next video in a bit.